Welcome. In life you will read a lot of books, but for me, this book, Free from God, Unveiling Spirituality that Breeds Wisdom, comes out as fantastic, awesome, educational, and informative. In this book, it is very clear that 3 paradigms are dealt with. There are 3 books in one. So if you get this book, there are actually 3 books. The first book has a lot to do with the Creator. We'll come back to this later on. The second book has a lot to do with the creation. What was created, and who created it, and when it was created. And the last one deals with our Ubuntu, our Bantu identity, who is a Muntu, who is a Bantu. And we use a term, melanin dominant human being, person who looks like an African, found not only in the continent of Africa, but all over the earth, maybe as autochthonous in the lands where they are found. But mostly and most likely have migrated out of Africa, moved out of Africa, or forced to move out of Africa. So this book is available on Amazon, and it was published on behalf of Marifado Family Network by PTR LMDumizulu. So the first section deals with who and what is the Creator. The Creator, according to this book, is a phenomenon that is not named, that is no name. The Creator is not a male, is no gender, not a female. The Creator, on top of all that, is also not a spirit or a being. The phenomenon that we are explaining here is foundational to understanding the Creator. The Creator is not a spirit, is not a being. So what about God? What about Allah? What about Jesus? What about Yahweh? What about Mskaban? What about all these other names that we have? These are deities. Question is, who created the deities? That is dealt with in part 2. So we go back to the first part that we have elaborated a little bit earlier. The Creator, the nameless one, with no gender, who neither is alive nor dead, we do not know. Any human being, any organization, any religious movement, any teacher, any guru, any mystic, any spirit, any god, any deity that comes to you today and explains to you and describes to you who this Creator is, that deity is describing a subjective understanding that they have. It is not the real Creator. No human being can know this real Creator. No spirit has ever demonstrated about this Creator, but we instinctively know that there is a power, or there is a force, or there is a reality that is beyond our brains. Our brains are too limited, our lifespans too short, and our thinking too clouded. We have to be trained to walk, we have to be trained to think, we have to be trained to speak. Our languages are totally limited. That's why we are having a lot of languages. So there is no name for this Creator. You name it, you own it. You name it, you can control it. So therefore, let's not go around saying that this is the Creator or that is the Creator. Our ancestors, all over the earth, I am speaking of indigenous, melanin dominant ancestors, African, Negro, black ancestors, brown ancestors, they never created a structure and say this is for the unknowable one. Only the Greeks maybe would do that. Our ancestors created a lot of artifacts specified as artifacts or representations of various deities. So when you come to God, God is a deity. You can read about about the God of the Bible. You can read in the Bible how he looks like, how he behaves. He sometimes is angry, sometimes is violent, and sometimes he has love. He has a specific number of people that he loved. He said, Esau I hated, Jacob I loved. So those are human characteristics that are built around a deity. So many deities have various characteristics, but the God of the Bible is not the Creator, is not the real Creator. He might have created 1 or 2 things, but is not the real Creator. We look at the phenomenon of creation, and the question is, who then created these deities? We know from studies and from the traditions that our ancestors have passed on to us that there is a phenomenon that is known as the waters of Nyunyu. When they say the waters of Nyunyu, they are not speaking of water. Of course, earthly water that we drink, that we use, it represents that phenomenon. In science, they call it atomic soup. This water is the potential of possibilities. That is the proper term, potential of possibilities. It exists where all frequencies and all vibrations that we know of, where we are living, we can identify. So these waters of Nyunyu, the potential of possibilities, this is where the deities, the gods, self-generated themselves, and as the gods self-generated out of, they also generated the laws of the universe. This is all explained in the book Free from God. There is a whole section, book 2 deals with that. And the laws of physics that we find today, the laws of chemistry, the laws of biology, the laws that we work with to create Wi-Fi, to create technology, and we discover these frequencies, we discover these radio frequencies, we discover these phenomena, galactic phenomena, universal phenomena, earthly phenomena, planetary phenomena, whatever we discover, these were the laws that were created by the gods, by the deities that self-created themselves in the waters of Nyunyu. And by the waters of Nyunyu, I've illustrated that we are speaking of Masai Sai, the waves or the frequencies out of which the reality that we speak of today was crafted, inclusive of our universe, inclusive of the multi-universes that we know exist, but we know we cannot number or name them. But the real creator, as we have already alluded to, according to the explanations given in the book Free from God, no human being can know that. Therefore, because of that, no human being can sin against the real creator. No human being can praise the real creator. No human being can pray to the real creator. But human beings can sin against the gods, can sin against the deities, can sin against the principles of the universe, the laws of the universe. It is very clear that the gods are the ones that came out of the waters of potential, of the waters of Nyunyu, the potential of possibilities. And out of the waters of possibilities, there is a chasm, which we call Mukaha, where no mind, no spirit, no being can pass to go beyond. Don't worry about people that speak of limitlessness. The limitlessness which speak of as a limit that we are talking about is the phenomena of the real creator. So the gods then created man, created our ancestors. The gods created animals, created nature, created trees, rivers, mountains. The only phenomena that the gods did not create is water. So our ancestors were created by the gods, and we were named as the Bantus and human beings to walk on the earth, to do that which we are doing, to find the purpose of life. And the gods were given the privilege to allow the divine spark that comes from the unknowable one to transcend through the waters of possibilities, the waters of potential, to come and dwell in a flesh inside you and me. And therefore, we are called a Mu-Ntu. Mu means something, Ntu means a physical body. So inside you, according to your identity, you've got your totems. The totems point us to the deities, to the gods. Because if you see the structures, carvings that our ancestors left, especially in Hamit, they left the composite statues, a head of an animal, a body of a being, like the Sphinx, Horemakuti. The explanation is totemic. This is also pointing us to animism, the belief and the trust that in everything that lives, there is the phenomena of existence. So if you read this book, you find your identity, you understand the creation, and you also understand who the real creator is. This is Hamaneja Topi, Priestya Rabbi LMDumizulu of Marifado Family Network, saying this is a book that is going to change your perception of reality and connect you with your bloodline to the first ancestors, right to the gods that exist and operate in the waters of Nyunyu, in the waters of potential. Therefore, you have got unlimited potential. Thank you very much. Ameni.